Hello, New Hope blessings, or should I say, hola, pequeño nueve hope blessings. I'm sorry, Meg. I haven't learned any more Spanish over 3 months living in Central America. Eesh, sorry. But anyways, if I could go back in time and give myself 2 pieces of advice, it would probably be to take Spanish instead of French in high school and invest in Google. But c'est la vie. I guess I do use French, but that's hardly useful in comparison to what I would rather use Spanish for. But anyways, here is this week's 5-minute mission meeting update with Michelle. And I adore alliteration, so that's why I'm going to keep that, even though it's probably not even going to be 5 minutes. So I apologize, Katrina, and everyone who gets who requested 5 minutes. We'll see how I do. So anyways, I'm also coming to you again from a bathroom. This is what we got going on here. Shower, toilet, no shower curtain. It's just kind of a little room. But hey, that thing makes hot water. And this says that it's running water. So I'm already kind of more like a king right now than I have been in other months because it's usually cold bucket showers. But anyways, I also come into the bathroom because it has a mirror, so I'll probably do that a lot, and it's one of the few times that I actually get privacy to do something like this or anything, because community living, woof, that is hard, and you are always around people. This is actually the first time that I've been alone in 3.5 months. I don't even know what it's like to have children, so to all you moms in New Hope, rock on, because... Or dads too, because I mean, same thing. You just, once you have kids, man, you are never alone. So, whew. But anyways, Honduras, that's what month 1 was in January. So while you guys were all struggling with the cold, I was struggling with some heat. But it all worked out. It was really cool. And I guess I wouldn't have traded it because it sounded like it was crazy blizzards at home. But anyways, we worked with Corazon de Cristo Ministries doing, with Gracie and Lee Murphy, the hosts there. They're from the U.S. and moved down like 11 years ago. And we worked with they work mostly with like sex trafficking and kind of tackling that, which we didn't get to tackle a lot like out and about because it's kind of dangerous. But we worked with victims of the sex trafficking that were there like post getting rescued, as well as 2 teen girls who had been victims of incest and had their babies. And I mean, like, even at 27, I don't even think I could have kids now if I ever decide to do that. And these girls, like, stand up and have kids, so that's crazy. So wise choice on their part, and all the power to them for doing what was right, and even when it's hard, because they're still evidently very much so teens. But in any case, we helped with them with their schooling and everything, with taking care of the kids while they could do school. We also helped with orphan boys. There was a few of those under 5. We worked with them and the staff that worked at the compound. We also did like manual labor on the compound, as well as doing this survey as a partnership with World Food Bank to find like about 2,000 families, and we're like way outside the city, so there were lots of cows, and coming from a butcher family, it felt like home, so it was a nice touch. But we were out in the middle of nowhere, kind of reaching the unreached, I guess, doing this survey for Food Bank to get hopefully 2,000 families, or like single moms, food for them and their children. And it's kind of like a covert op, because in a way it allows us to go right into their home, and view physical needs of things that we could help with, as well as like hear about the things that they might actually, what's going on in their life, like build a little relationship with them and find things to pray for, which we definitely got to pray for a lot of people. And granted, even though I didn't really learn much Spanish or tackle it, which, side note, they might have thought that we were a group of mercenaries that were coming to ask them a few questions, because apparently the equivalent of missionary in Spanish is very close to the equivalent of mercenary in Spanish. But once that got cleared up, people were still very welcoming, so it's not like we were super intimidating coming in initially. But that was fun. But anyways, they let us in and we could pray with them and kind of reach these like hard topics, and side note, 2 people actually came to Christ through that, so high five. Mind blown, because I was kind of coming on the race thinking like, yeah, the workers are few and the harvest is plentiful, and part of that harvest is like the planters, the waterers, the sowers and reapers, and so it's like I'm not always going to be a reaper, and it's not about the numbers of people who get saved because I'm not the one who saves anyways. It's like I'm just being part of like God's plan, and then boom, still first month like 2 people get saved. So New Hope, that is two mas personas that y'all are going to meet in heaven. And yes, I say y'all now, which I'm really holding on to Buffalo Rochester dialect because I really don't like the southern accent, and everyone on my team has a southern accent. But side note to that, everyone, like all the citizens around the world, totally say that they like our accent way better than the rest of the people on the team, just between us. Even though no one's here, so yeah, I can totally celebrate that part. But as soon as I get home, my first thing is going to be learning to speak English again because it's getting sucked from me slowly. And I miss it. I feel dumb. I miss your voices. But anyways, through all that, I say, like, that's what we kind of did, and that's really cool because that's mostly what the 4 of the 6 teams that were at this ministry location got to do. But the shout out that I made to Dave Peel last week references a time during one of our peace team groups when I was with him and Dave the intern, and he was saying that I could be used in accounting on the world race. And so here we go, mind blown again. About a few days into our first month, Gracie had asked me specifically, like, if I did accounting. And I was like, are you kidding me right meow? Because yes, I definitely do. And you need help with closing the books for like year end. QuickBooks, by the way. So yes, Scott, I am getting more QuickBooks experience. So that's also very cool. And maybe, because New Hope uses QuickBooks, maybe that's some kind of prophecy to what I should do when I get home. But we'll see. But anyways, so she asked me to do like close the books, IT issues on the computer, which I kind of used IT to get my CPA exam, so I knew a lot about that, even though I don't know it in Spanish. And it's not like all those IT words for Windows applications in Spanish really help in normal daily conversation, but man, I know how to, restore a computer in Spanish, which is always useful. Or maybe it will be, who knows? I'm up for anything, God, whatever you say after this. I mean, I just got experience doing this. And I set up donor reports, did nonprofit consulting, and then did like 2 weeks of training to do like payroll and close the books, payroll and pay the bills and stuff for when Gracie was actually going to leave because she came to the U.S. Midway through January to do her own support raising and talks at church. So she kind of put me in charge to tackle that. So again, hey God, more experience that we're throwing there because the last year, like 2013, I was volunteering on a board of directors as treasurer and consultant for a nonprofit group in Buffalo, and I thought, what am I going to use this for? And here we go, and used it right there in January. So just continual privilege in a way to get experience for things that I'll lay out to God's greater plan, which is really cool. Which brings me to this week's character study, which is on Joseph. As you kind of could piece together probably so far, I was given kind of privilege in some aspects, and I have this team of brothers and sisters in Christ, and it did lead to some kind of, I don't want to say entirely jealousy, but there was definitely rifts there that came from that, and kind of working through that piece. And then, towards the end, becoming basically Pharaoh's right-hand man, doing these pieces, and it was difficult because everyone's outside struggling in the heat, working manual labor, doing stuff like that, while I'm inside this cool house where nobody really got to go in because it was the office, and I would work on stuff out of the sun and things, even though I kind of wanted to tan too, and I love manual labor, so it's not like I didn't want to be out there, but kind of walking through that, being faithful to what God's given me in terms of doing accounting for a degree and stuff, and working that out with my team, and you see kind of how that develops. So when I get home, that's a piece we can chat about for sure as well. And I also have, so get your pen and paper ready, a few prayer requests before my time runs out too badly. Teaching, I might be teaching at church this month as well. I thought about potentially doing it on wars in Syria and things I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do it on, but I'll let you know what I end up doing if I do. Resting with God, privilege of being in the world race besides not being at home. I mean, I was working crazy hours, and like as soon as it was decided I wasn't going to stay at my firm, and I don't like that because I don't really want to be like a workaholic or whatever. And so this has given me an opportunity to rest with God, and so I want to remember that even though I can be doing all this work for Him, that I don't turn it into like a job. Also evangelism this month, because that's basically what we're going to be doing a lot of, as well as the church that we're working with. It's been losing members, and I don't know that they're noticing it, but I'm an observer, thinker type person, and I hear like different pieces from different people and different things that kind of make me think that there's tension and underlying discontent with one another. And so I just want to pray on that as a sister church, because other than that, they're really doing great things. I mean, their doctrines are on point, and I mean, I'm excited for what they have for Bulgaria, but they just need some prayer for unity. Also, IJM, International Justice Mission, a calling to that after the race, because people who knew I wanted to work for the FBI, and then when I tore my quad, I couldn't, and those dreams kind of went down. But knowing that door closed, I was just curious what door was opening, and I mean, the world race came up, but since being on the race, it's come up a few times that maybe I should go into International Justice Mission, which is essentially like the Christian FBI out of DC. And so if you just pray on that, maybe by the end of the race, that'll be something that happens. I don't know. Also, fundraising, different ideas for fundraising and like support raising, as well as prayer support raising, like the motivation to let people know what's going on and how, as well as like to meet deadlines. So I have my next deadline officially is July 1st, but I had a deadline in April 1st, which it's already past April, but or past April 1st, and yet they haven't asked me for the money for it yet. So if you were thinking about supporting me, if you could do that ASAP, that would be really great. You can go to my blog again, Michelle Ford at theworldrace.org, and right on my homepage, I kind of say like how to donate, preferably via PayPal, which is the best. But if you need your 501c3 tax donation letter, you can do that right there on the Support Me sidebar thing. So if you itemize your taxes, then you should do that. But if you don't itemize your taxes, then PayPal works very well, because it doesn't take out like a 3% cut. And continued health and safety, because that's always very important. So other than that, I think that's mainly my update for Honduras. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me via email or also on my blog. It says like contact me on this side, and you can send me prayer requests and things, because I've got a month where I can really like be a prayer warrior for everyone at home more than normal and stuff. So, amen to that. All right. Well, love you guys. Keep on keeping on, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.